What's going on, everybody? TheKennyDubz here with another Megaman X Dive tournament overview video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Dive Cross Megaman EXE as released as soon as the global version. Alright, so here we're taking a look at Dive Cross Megaman EXE. It's really just Dive Cross Megaman, but it's based off of Megaman EXE, so I frequently just say EXE so to kind of differentiate them. Doesn't make a big difference though. But take a look at the splash screen here. Pretty interesting. I don't really like how the wings are here on this a little bit, but this is a personal preference thing. So here is Mega Man EXE's latest form. Unfortunately, will not be getting this in Legacy Collection. Unlucky. Anyway, so first up we have the charge shot. Shoots energy rounds to inflict 17% damage. The target can be charged to unleash a more powerful energy round. The second stage of the charge will scatter 3 rounds of final type energy rounds once. So similar to I don't know what to compare it to that would make sense in terms of this game, because I would compare it to like the feathers that Fowls are from Battle 6, but that doesn't really make too much sense in the context of this game. So just pretend you know what I mean. I guess. I had one dealing 4.9 times more damage, and when reaching maximum charge, shoots a tornado type laser that can deal 12.5 times more damage. Do not take any damage while using the maximum charge shot. So the tornado laser you can kind of see right here on the screen there, which is pretty interesting. So for the modifier chips, we have accelerate charge, reduces the prep time to reach maximum charge by 25%. That's all right. We have the power increase because we always have to have this. But this time it's plus 10% increased damage. Also, again, like I mentioned in the past few videos, if you hear in the background, it's my air conditioner. It is getting quite warm, so the air conditioner will be on in some videos. And finally, we have the swirling feathers. Oh, you can kind of see it here, actually. Switch mode directly to launch 3 rounds of feather type energy rounds that ignore terrain and tracks targets deal damage to the targets. And with this, you don't have to charge your buster at all. So this is what I tend to have on, just because I can just fire it and not have to worry about charging my buster at all. So that's nice. And it ignores terrain, though I'm pretty sure the tornado ignores terrain as well. So following that, we have the double life sword ability here. So I check in my second monitor to see the base power of it. Slashes twice in a row, dealing 288% attack damage to all targets in range. Not taking any damage loss in use. Very, very nice there. This is just the double life sword here. I like that. It's similar to the var sword or neo variable sword command. There, power increases damage up to 5% because we always got to have this. We have mobility reduced prep time by 20%, which isn't too bad. And then finally, we have Supersonic Blast. Switches mode to fire 2-round energy blades that ignore terrain and deal damage to all enemies in its path. You do not take any damage while it's used. This is what I use just because it pierces terrain. It has more range than the double life sword. So that's just what I've been using. I've been using these two just because they ignore terrain, and they have pretty wide range. So that's pretty good there. For the passive skills, we have Super Armor, and I like this one. Reduce damage taken by 15%, and then reduce damage taken by an additional 20% if equipping a buster or melee weapon. Now, it says buster or melee weapon. That should kind of clue you in on what we're going to be recommending using for this character. However, yeah, so up to 35% damage mitigation just inherently, as long as you have a buster or a melee weapon equipped. It doesn't have to be both. It just has to be one or the other. Next up, we have Enhanced Resonation. The prep time for the charge shot and swirling feathers is reduced by 20%. That's quite nice there. I think it's like 4 seconds on the charge shot and 6-second cooldown on the swirling feathers before calculating this in. When you reach maximum charge shot, when you launch maximum charge shot and swirling feathers, you will gain enhanced damage status that cannot be removed, increasing damage deal by 24%. That is fantastic there. Cannot be removed means you don't have to worry too much about Grudge Axe's passive stealing your buffs, which is great. You don't have to worry about getting your buffs removed with interference either, which again is quite nice, or the singularity slasher. And then you get a damage enhancement as well. So you currently have some damage enhancement, which is enhancement and damage mitigation, which is fantastic. Next up, we have Float Shoes. Become accelerated after using skills, increase movement speed by 37%. That's always good there. The second limit trigger will go to 6 seconds. When you're in enhanced attack status, reduce damage take by 15%. So, as long as you're in enhanced attack status, you get some damage mitigation, and you get a speed buff after using a skill. Downside, this speed buff can be taken from you, but, you know, it's still really good, right? So there's that. And next up, we have the Life Aura skill, which I like. Gain a shield when being hit can withstand 100% attack damage. I prefer if this wasn't when I was getting hit, but it's fine either way. This also has the unique look that Life Aura tends to have in this game. You know, kind of like the purple. God, what shape is that? Like similar, not really diamond, but if you've seen Life Aura, you have an idea what I'm talking about in this game. Removes all negative static from your body when the shield disappears, which is also quite nice. So when the shield disappears, it cleanses you. However, I don't think this works if the shield is being stolen by like Grudgeaxe or being. I don't know. Grudgeaxe would be the only one that would negate that, because it says when the shield disappears, and if you're using the Singularity Slash or something or remove a buff, that should make it so that should still count the same way. Because it is still disappearing. Let's check on the trick with my 8-second cooldown. We're using double life sword supersonic blast. 3 additional shots of feather type energy that ignore terrain and attracts targets will be launched, dealing 80% attack damage to the target. So now, when you use double life sword supersonic blast, and just so we're on the same page, double life sword supersonic blast, they're the same S2. But one of them changes the functionality of it, so that's why they clarify there. So now you launch some additional attracting feathers as well with your skill 2. So that's good there. Additional damage mitigation, and Asuna, or cleansing debuffs, which is quite nice. And then finally we have double Fantasia. Double life sword and supersonic blast cause the target to become immobile when hit. Double life sword supersonic blast can be used continuously after this effect is activated. Can only be activated once more after 7 seconds before it can be activated again. And increase damage by 20% when equipping a melee weapon or a buster. Alright, so this has a lot of text in it. That's quite good. So your S2 will inflict immobilize. It's not true immobilize, but that's still really good. Can be used continuously as well. So you get the double launch off, which is quite nice. And then you get a further damage enhancement when equipping a melee or buster weapon just for existing. That's really good. And I'd say further damage enhancement because you get damage enhancement from here as well. So that is very, very good there. You have a lot of damage enhancement and damage mitigation just inherently in your kit. So let's go ahead and take a look at some DNA passives here real quick. These won't be active these won't be live when DiVE Megaman releases. At least they shouldn't be. However, as per usual, we're just going to cover them anyway, just to make sure everyone's aware. So first up, energy feedback. We need to feed a target with a weapon or skill, increase your HP by, you recover HP by 22.5% of your attack. Not good for PvP, pretty good for PvE in most cases. I say most cases because if you're using versus a raid boss or some kind of boss stage, it might not be as helpful. Following that, we have obscured field of view. Cause blind when the skill hits a target. After the trigger, you can only trigger once after 6-second cooldown. This is interesting, as I think only Eretor has this, as is the only character that has this in their DNA. I believe it's New Year's Cinnamon that has blind. I think it's New Year's Cinnamon. I always get New Year's Cinnamon and White Day Cinnamon confused. But one of those two also has blind in their kit. It might be in someone else too, but I just can't remember. And then finally, we have Showtime. We not suffer negative side effects when using double life sword or supersonic blast. So you have true Showtime on your life sword and supersonic blast now, which is always great. I would like this to be something a little bit better, but considering the base kit of DiVE Megaman, that's okay. Finally, we have Dark Asylum for his unique skill, his unique recombined DNA here. And what that does is, when causing blind status, any target blind status, gain a preventative shield and suffer no negative status. Again, I would love for that to be changed because that is not the case anymore. We have so many things that just ignore preventative shield, so wording is not correct, and I don't like it. Aside of that, Blame Trigger comes with 8-second cooldown. Not too bad there. Aside from that, you have a bunch of nice things here. Long range adaptability, long range boost, melee adaptability, buster adaptability, melee amplification, buster amplification. Some quite nice things there. And for the defensive things, of out of control resistance if you really don't want Grudgeaxe, immobilize resistance, slow resistance, blind special attack, which is actually useful once he gets his DNA. And with special attack, again, useful once you actually get your DNA. Defense reduction special attack as well there. Unfortunately, Dark Horse Megaman EXT does not have any kind of card at the moment, but let's go ahead and take a look at some weapons in my current world with them. All right, so it's my favorite time. It's time to talk about the Buster Melee Hybrid combo, because that is so good. Yeah, but also it pairs well on Dark Horse Megaman, so that's even better. So usual suspects are going to be just here: Sniper Buster, Explosive Bolt, Hawk Vision Buster, just to name a few. Sniper Buster is an okay Sniper Buster. It is free to play friendly because you can make the memories for this, so you can acquire it once you hit research level 8 at the very least if you're unlucky with pulling it. It's not a bad weapon, but I think it's on the weaker end of the current Sniper Busters that we have. We have the Explosive Bolt as well. Here, Explosive Bolt, I think, is the best Sniper Buster in the game. 150% attack damage to the target, a little bit stronger than the Sniper Buster here. But it also has some cool things in it as well, like Player Killer just inherently on the weapon, which is good. And I always recommend Player Killer as the hidden skill for this because, while Penetration does have higher damage output potential, Player Killer is just more consistent, because for Penetration you have to be able to get value out of it and ricocheting your shots properly off of the terrain. And some maps don't really favor the ricocheting off the terrain, and also requires you to do a bit more work and be a bit more precise to get more value out of it. So I just think Player Killer is just better and easier for like everyone to use. That, and the reason you need the penetration allows you to do more damage is because of the spray calibration system. Allows you to rebound your shots off of the terrain. So yeah, there's that. Following that, there is the Hawk Vision Buster. Again, I don't really like this weapon. I like the way it looks, but I don't like it in practice. So what it does is it gives you a unique buff that allows you to pierce terrain, which sounds really, really good, right? However, in order for you to pierce terrain with its unique buff, you have to first hit the target in medium to long range. It says long range here, it says medium range here. And then once you get it to 4-star, you'll be able to pierce terrain, and then the flight speed will be increased as well. The only thing I don't like about it is that you need that active first. But I think if it didn't have this condition, it would probably be a bit too good on that. But yeah, there is that. As for the hidden skills on this, you can go long range boost, you go Twin Hawks. I think are both okay options there. And finally, for the sniper style busters, we have Destructive Laser. Destructive Laser is a limited weapon, so you can only pull this on limited weapon banners, and one is live right now on the global version at the time of recording this, before that first recommend comes out, and I think it might be live after he comes out as well. I don't remember the date on it, but it's not a bad weapon. It has a decently high rate of fire, a little bit weaker than the Sniper Buster, but it fires more frequently because the rate of fire is faster, or slower, higher. Fires more, that one. Whichever one correlates to that. So it's pretty nice there. I want to throw this in quickly here as well. It's not released currently in the global version, but I think it's coming out pretty soon, potentially, because we're going at an accelerated pace, so I thought I'd just throw this in here as well. The Ultimate Blast. Ultimate Blast is a fantastic buster type weapon. If you are a buster user like me, or if you prefer to use busters like me, you will love this weapon. It's designed after Dive Armor X. X Busters, that's pretty neat. I prefer it maybe like an EXE Buster, but you know what? That's neither here nor there, though EXE Buster would be pretty cool. What this Buster does is, this Buster does a lot of things. It has the potential to stun with its overload laser. It can pierce terrain with its complete penetration, so that's really good. It also fires quite quickly and quite consistently. It takes double energy, but you know what? That's okay. I just don't want to go too far into this here. Here's a laser as well that pierces terrain and deals damage over time to targets in range. And here is the here is the real good part. Laser overloads his target and become immobile. Traps on the tracking effect. The shots in laser will auto aim even in a state of confusion or when aim is turned off in the settings. This is actually really interesting because I think this is the first weapon since the Decide's Will that has this accessible as a passive. Though Decide's Will does not have that part as a passive. That's just inherently on the Decide's Will. Moving on to melee weapons here. Nightmare, kind of your bog standard thing at the moment. You can always use. Recommend Nightmare because Nightmare just gives you free attack buffs, and I say free attack buffs because if you hit a target or if you're swinging your weapon around, you get an attack buff, stackable up to 5 times. So that's pretty nice there. Ancient Relic is an option as well for this, but I don't really think you really need Ancient Relic on DiVE vs Megaman. Use Ancient Relic for the utility it provides with its hidden skills. Speed Rune and Protect Rune. Speed Rune gives you acceleration status when your movement, when you deplete the energy. Protect Rune gives you a shield when you deplete energy. However, Diecross Megaman already has these two inherently. Though the speed should stack with his speed buff, so you will actually become speed and might go a little too fast. However, the shield is definitely not that great an option on Diecross Megaman, and the reason I say that is simply because if you have this shield, if you deplete energy while you have your life aura up, well, you'll overwrite your life aura with this weaker shield. So if you do have to go for this, just be careful of doing that. Next up, gotta include Grudge Axe. I say this all the time. I don't really like Grudge Axe, but it's just a good weapon. What it does is steals buffs and inflicts out of control. That's it. That's basically what you need to know for the Grudge Axe. It's not a guaranteed. It's a 60% chance to happen, but I mean that's pretty good odds, especially when you're dash slashing and you're rolling for the procs for 60% more frequently. Another weapon that's not yet in the global version, but should be coming up soon, because I'm pretty sure Zero said that this should be coming in the summer. Red Lotus Saber, fantastic weapon here. Just a quick thing of Red Lotus Saber, has burn, armor crush, speed, and giant fire pillar. Does a lot of damage and has dot damage. This is a really good weapon. I just don't want to go too far into it right now during this because it's not on the global version. But be on the lookout for this weapon when it comes out. This weapon is not a limited weapon. This weapon will be in the general pool. So even if you don't pull it when it comes out, you'll be able to get it later. Also, I didn't mention that for the Ultimate Blast is a limited weapon. So you can only get that limited weapon banners. Singularity Slasher is an option as well, as Singularity Slasher is like a side grade to Grudge Axe. I think it's a little bit worse just because why would you want to dispel the buffs from the opposition when you can take them with Grudge Axe? The trade-off with Singularity Slasher is the buff removal is guaranteed, and you can remove up to 2 buffs at a time with Singularity Slasher. The other weapons I think might be generically okay to use with Diecross Megaman. Evil Eye. I think Evil Eye is a decent option, though I feel like this option might be a bit better once he gets his DNA, because you can combo that with the Power of Evil, so that you'll be able to take more advantage of the blind status there. This is also, like, I think this is a solid weapon as well. The blind isn't really that big of a detriment, though. That's like the biggest issue I have with this. And it's available right now on global, so if you do want to pick this up, you can. Yeah, I don't think this is necessarily like a weapon that you need at any outside of like if you're maybe a raider. But I mean, I think it's worth doing at least the first step of the limited weapon pulse. Lightbender is also a fantastic weapon as well. It is a Spire type weapon that can deal melee damage, so if you have Lightbender, you will not be disappointed. It also has the added effect of being able to dispel buffs, so that's pretty cool as well, alongside the Bender, which deals additional damage by launching the Saw Blades. Gator Fangs, also a fantastic weapon, inflicts the shield effect, which slows down the opposition. You have to be close to use this weapon, so just be aware of that. However, with the speed boost and like the inherent buffs you have, you'll probably be more than comfortable getting up pretty close and personal if you're using something like this, because you likely used a melee weapon otherwise. But Running Fang, Predator, and the Rapid Reload are all ways of Grudge Axe, not Grudge Axe, wow, that Gator Fangs will increase the DPS. Outside of that, the Decides Will at Home, the Cannon God. Cannon God is just a weapon you can use to poke from long range if you want to play more of a like a zoner type thing with Diecross Megaman. Complete Penetration allows you to penetrate terrain, and you have access to Shockwave, which allows you to stun. And aside from that, we have the Starboard Cannon, another weapon that can penetrate terrain. This can also dispel buffs. Here, I think it's no restriction off. Yeah, dispel buffs with its interference, which isn't bad. Complete Penetration lets you go penetrate terrain. You have additional damage with the Starbreaker. And because I mentioned Decides Will at Home, we have to talk about the actual Decides Will. Decides Will, I mentioned earlier. It can auto aim even in State of Confusion or when it was turned off in the settings. Just a great weapon. It has a laser as well that will hit through terrain, and the missiles are pretty nice as well. So this is probably the go-to weapon if you're playing more Zona type characters. All right, card time. And since Diecross Megaman actively really likes to use busted melee weapons, we might as well start off with the tried and true Elite Hunter combo. I tend to start off with this anyway, but Elite Hunter is just like a basic, don't know what to throw on something, Elite Hunter. Buster Melee is just such an easy combination to throw on like any character. And this card is pretty easy to get, even if you are a free-to-play player or a light spender. You just have to get this from your guild. So it does require a little bit of RNG, but it's a free 18% damage amplification, damage mitigation if using a Buster Melee. Quite nice there. You can also make use of the Twin Heroes card because that pairs well with this. I'll have a picture of the Twin Heroes card. I don't have it in this account. Downside with the Twin Heroes card is the only way we have it in the gold version right now is if you bought it when it was available in the shop in the packs, or if you were playing when it was available as a monthly activity reward card. That also includes as well the Excess Memories. Excess Memories is another card that is free-to-play friendly. You can get this from your Deep Recorder, so hopefully you're lucky with that. You see I have quite a bit here as well. It triggers off for Red Blue, which is quite nice. Buster Amplification 3 or Buster Amplification 2. Just, more damage if you have a Buster active. X and 0 is also a decent option. Gives you less adaptability. 6% at level 2, 8% at level 3. I think this was a monthly activity rewards card as well. I can't remember it entirely, but it triggers off of Red Blue, and it also has access to adversity amplification as well, which will trigger off of the Elite Hunter combo. You don't really care all that much about this, most likely, but I mean, it's nice to have both effects active, I guess. Destiny Completed is also a decent option if you don't have the Elite Hunter combo from your guild. It also gives Buster Melee double amplification. However, it's not as good as it doesn't have the mitigation as well, but you can get this here and you can stack it with itself to get access to the 18% damage amplification. A few more generic options here for player killer, which is good for PvP here. But before I go into player killer, I want to talk about the Akuma card. Akuma card has Master of the Fist, so it'll stack with any level of player killer or Sentinel, as it has a different name, and it has an effect where you can stack it with itself if you were lucky enough to get one of these during Street Fighter collab or 2 of these. And yeah, it'll be, I think it's 6% at level 2, right? So it'll be 6% and 4%, so that'll be 10%. And then you can stack this with one Elite Hunter if you really want, because Akuma's blue, Elite Hunter is, Akuma's red, Elite Hunter's blue, so you'll get some benefits from a little bit of both. But then we have the M. Bison card as well for player killer. Again, this is from the Street Fighter collaboration, so if you didn't get this, it's a little unfortunate, but you can stack this with itself if you want for player killer 2, player killer 3. I don't remember if the Wolf Sigma card is in the global version or not, to be quite honest, but this also has access to player killer. I'm pretty sure this is available as a raid card. This is player killer 3 or player killer as well, and you can stack this with itself, player killer 2, player killer 3. And this is a blue card, so you can put this next to some things that might pair with a blue card, like maybe if you really want to use the M. Bison card, you can put this next to a yellow card and do it that way, or next to the Akuma card, because the Akuma card triggers needs a blue. A few more player killer cards that are a bit easier to get access to. Second Rex 4 second form and the Life Aura card from base. But you can get both of these in the token shop from the store. And if you're really struggling to get a player killer card, you can go for the Wheelgator card. Wheelgator card can be made in the research lab. I don't remember what level, but you can make it there, and it stacks with itself. So you can do 2 Wheelgators and a yellow card, get player killer 2, player killer 1, and have that. Alongside that, if you're also struggling for whatever reason you can't get the tokens, the map card is available from the free packs that you can get from just doing your daily arena. This is a bit RNG based, but since it's a rank card, it's not as hard to get an S rank card, and you can get player killer 2 and player killer 1 of these and stack these together. Alright, that's it for Dive Cross Megaman. Now, should you pull for Dive Cross Megaman? Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to pull for him because I like him. I don't think he's a bad unit by any means. Honestly, if you're more into PvP, you'll probably appreciate him a lot more. If you're more into just like PvE side of things, I mean, you won't be disappointed with him. He's not needed for PvE, but he's definitely usable. I wouldn't really recommend him for raids all that intensely. You could definitely get away with using him in raids, but if you want a character more suited for raids, there's definitely better options coming for that, and even some that we already have that are better for raiding. So as long as you're not necessarily looking for more raid units, you can probably safely skip Dive Cross Megaman for the most part. But if you're in the PvP, you probably want him. PvE, again, PvE mostly is really easy, so it's not like you really necessarily need that. However, he is pretty solid for the suppression battles in full force battles. Surprised I remember that today because I couldn't remember yesterday. But yeah, the suppression battles are the ones we have to clear waves of enemies, which is pretty useful because of his supersonic blast can just cut through quite a few of them at the same time. It's not a screen nuke, but it is pretty solid for doing it. And he has sustain with the life aura, and once DNA, even more sustain with the energy feedback as well. So that's it for Dark West Megaman. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Help the channel to go trend with content. And I'd like to give a shout out to my YouTube channel members and my Patreon supporting me on do what I do. Like support me as a YouTube channel member or as a patron. You can find a link to information, do that down below. And when you become a YouTube channel member and a patron, you get access to additional benefits, such as potentially seeing videos like this early before they go live, and access to behind the scenes things in terms of content and such like that. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Later.